Hey, this is Walter Schmidt, author on the book on Superyet Sales, 7 Swiss Top Secrets to Success. Today, in my show, I have the honor to talk to Allisha Ali from Brussels. What is she? She is a career coach. She's a personality that is used for people in high positions or low positions, but for everybody who has to do with career and who want to change some things in their lives and also businesses. But I don't want to talk too much about her because I want to let her introduce herself. And by the way, thank you very much, Allisha, being on my show. I'm really blessed to have you here. And let's talk about you. Who are you? Talk about you. Tell the people who you are. What are your specialties? What is it that you do?
Yeah, thank you, Walter. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this sunny day in Brussels. I've been a career coach now since about 1.5 years. It was a career change for me. I was the classical person coming from corporate. And then something happened whereby I decided to leave my job, but I had no idea what I was going to do. And I spoke to a career coach, and that really helped me to open up my eyes to the possibilities of what is out there. And all my life, I've been helping people in some way, especially in the last 10 years, where I helped a lot of junior people in the corporation where I worked to advance in their careers. So unknowingly, I was doing some form of career coaching for the last 10 years. And when I realized this is really what I want to do, you know, there's the Ikigai principle. You do what you love. You love what you do and you're good at it. You are serving the community and you can get paid for it. Then that's the ideal career in a sense. And I have found that. And my mission is to help other people to define and achieve those career aspirations. And what does that do for you? That really enables you to live a more fulfilling life. So it sounds all flowery, but there are a lot of tangible outputs in career coaching, unlike many other types of coaching where people don't value coaching because it's something that there's no hard return on investment. But with career coaching, you can see the results and you know what's happening as you evolve through the programs that I have and many other coaches do. So that's my mission, to help as many people to find what they really want to do and to get on with it.
So when I understand that correctly, it is not your mission to make more money at first. It is definitely about the balance somehow between career and life, because the validation is not only about money, because money is something that way you can get it, you can lose it. But the lifetime that we have is first of all limited for everybody of us. And it is something that you should fill up with something that you like to or love to do. So is that correct? That I understand that you are the person that helps people to find the way to go through, to find also the balance and the happiness in life, beside the money, of course, which money is something that everybody needs in this planet. So
I think that's a good summary. I think what's happening is that our careers and lives are so intertwined, especially when you have a business, and maybe even more so when you have a luxury business. Everything is intertwined. We can't really separate our careers from our lives today. And everyone has a career, whether you're the garbage man or whether you're an astronaut, you have a career. And a lot of people go through life without paying attention to their career. They are not really steering their path. Instead, they become victims of the circumstances around them, and they tend to do what might show up. And that includes business people. So having a clear career plan, knowing where you're going and making sure that's aligned with your values and the lifestyle that you want to live, I think that is so important. And senior executives who tend to be my clients. I also do a lot of work with younger people, but senior executives, they are the ones who realize after a long while, hey, is this really bringing me satisfaction? And that's when they start reflecting a bit more on what they can do with their career, with their lives. So the money part is one thing. That's your original question, if I remember well. Money, as I said, the Ikigai principle, which a lot of career coaches use. A big part of that is you can do what you love. You can be really good at it. You're serving the world and the community in some way. You're making your contribution. But at the same time, it comes back to the luxury market. If you can bring good value to people, if you can bring sustainable impact and transform their lives and their careers, like we talked about, then that's, you kind of put a price tag on that, so to speak. And therefore, that's why there's this image out there that coaches are too expensive. You know, what am I getting for this? But until you try it, you realize that it's actually the value you get, the sustainable impact you get. That's the value. And coaches, some coaches charge a lot of money because they're really good. They're luxury coaches in a way. And then you have others, if you're just starting, of course, your prices are going to be not as high. You have to be realistic too on what you can bring. So I think altogether, the money part of coaching is really linked to the value you bring to the client.
It's a very good point that you just brought up between, let's say, the good coaches and the coaches that are not that good. Now, in these times, it's a pretty unprecedented time with the corona stuff that's going on. A lot of people call themselves coach or started the coaching business. Now, in your perspective and with your experience, what would you say? What is the difference between a good coach and a lower good coach, or a coach which is not that good? What is the difference?
I think part of the, it's not really a problem, but part of the different things that are happening is that coaches, you know, as you probably mentioned before in another conversation we had, it's a fashion statement kind of to be a coach. But so many people mix up, or they are not aware of the difference between a coach, a mentor, a trainer, a teacher, or consultant, or even a therapist. And that's a key difference, because you have mentors calling themselves coaches, you have consultants calling themselves coaches, but what a coach really does is a coach does not necessarily bring the answers. They trust that the client has the answers within them. And through a coaching process, which is a learned skill, you have to do at least 60 hours of training and 100 hours of paid practice before you can call yourself an accredited coach. It's a learned skill, and you are taking that client on a journey. And if you're not trained to do that, and to help the client discover themselves, discover exactly what they're trying to achieve, discover exactly what obstacles might be in the way, help them to realize the resources that they have within them and around them to help them to achieve their goals, then that's where the trust comes in. The coach must trust that the client has that potential within them. And that's why we hear all of these terminologies about maximize your potential and reach for the stars and all these elements. So that's the key difference. I think everyone wants to do good and to help people. So it's not that one is better than the other. And the importance of mentors and consultants, for example, they are so important in the business world, But there's always that differentiation and that interchangeability that is happening today that we cannot really, unless you identify yourself as a coach, then everyone can be called a coach. So there's this element of that for me is a key differentiator. The client has the power and the answers within them.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, everybody knows everything, but they are not aware of it. So they need somebody, let's call it a coach, who can discover all this power, this knowledge, this energy that somebody has in itself already, and well, actually ready to take off, sort of.
Yeah.
Now, for me, a very interesting question to me personally is as well. You're not the only career coach, but what is it that makes you unique in your perspective in what you deliver and on for the clients that you have? Well, what is it?
Yeah. It's interesting you use the word unique because that's the name of my company, Unique You Careers, because I really believe that every one of us, we have a unique innate journey within us. We have unique skills, we have unique values, and our careers are all unique. Even if you are a coach and I'm a coach, the way I approach it would be different. That's unique to me. So this uniqueness in us indeed is my driving force. And what makes me different as a career coach, and other career coaches do it, so I'm not entirely unique in that sense, is that the first part of career coaching is focused on the person. Many career coaches, and maybe that's what the clients want, that's why they go there, they go directly to career services, which is about writing your resume, about writing your cover letter, it's about personal branding on your LinkedIn profile, it's about interview skills. I also do that, but I don't get there until the person has that level of clarity, that level of confidence, and that level of self-alignment into what they really want to do. And once they are clear and confident on what they want to do, then the rest becomes easy, because then they can have a clear job search strategy if they're going for a job. If they're going for a business, they can have a clear business strategy and they can remain focused on that vision. Then also in the case of job seekers, they would have, their resume would be so crisp because it will reflect who they really are, because they see who they really are through the coaching process. And then when they get to an interview, it's easy. All these tricky questions about, tell me about yourself, they know themselves. They don't have to beat around. They know their values, they know their strengths, they know their skills. So that first part, I think, is what differentiates good career coaches, shall we say. I'm not trying to put a scale here because I think everybody is playing an active role. But unless you start with the person, then every time they have to seek a job, every time they need to do a resume, they have to go through this frustration and pain that many people face, especially today with so many people, millions of people losing their jobs. They have to go through that pain over and over again. So that's unless I do that with my clients, I feel like I'm not bringing value, the true value, to them.
Okay, very interesting. So you take the part of clarity, that's what I hear out as a very important topic, which of course, it's like if you go on a journey, if you go somewhere on holiday and you don't know where to go, so you better don't start because you don't know if you end up there where you want to go. So you get first the clear target, the clear goal, and the clarity in yourself. So as a person, as a personality, to get going. So that seems like the number one in your start, at least when you coach people. Now, as you have mentioned as well, right now with this problem in the economy, with the corona, issue or impact. There are so many people also are afraid of their job, or if they lost their job, what they want to do, because maybe their job doesn't exist anymore as well in the future. Now, by saying this, it is a very hard situation also for coaches, because money, even there's money available, to hold back money. Do you feel, or do you realize, or do you observe that there's a change in the coaching market as such for coaches to not only get clients but to get paying clients?
I think there are several schools of thoughts. One of the key things to consider if you are getting into coaching is really where you're going to get your clients from. Because in order for a business to thrive and grow, of course, you need to have clients. And as you rightly said, paying clients. If we go back a while where coaching started, maybe 25, 30 years ago, those coaches, I talked about accreditation earlier, and it's a learned skill. Those coaches were natural coaches in a way. They had training, but no certifications. And they went into companies and they focused on leadership coaching for CEOs, and they focused on performance coaching for the poor performers in the company. And these bills were covered by the company. As coaching evolved, people started to go directly to the client. So you have the B2B market, so-called B2B, and the B2C market. Now, the B2B market today, what you find is companies are really looking for the qualified coaches. And soon it's already, in some companies, if you want to work as a coach in that company, you need to be accredited. So I think first thing is, if you're getting into the coaching market, ensure that you get some level of qualified training. Otherwise, that's one market that disappears, and that's a high-paying market. For the B2C, where I am now, because I have a clear plan, I'm a career coach, so I ensure I have a clear plan. My first target market is the clients directly, and then I would build into B2B. For that market, I think it's important to really understand who your clients are and the so-called niche. I don't need to get into that. I think everyone knows about it. But one thing is to also be able to share the value you bring. Remember, I spoke earlier about coaching not having a tangible output, but the effects of coaching can cause a lot of positive things to happen on the client. So let's take your luxury market, for example. I'm sure there are people today with luxury businesses where the sales have stopped. If you are a business coach, for example, and you go in there, you want to be able to first, again, work on the person. Because once that business owner accepts the situation and realizes all the possibilities and not get stuck in that downward spiral, then they are able to do whatever they want. So any coach coming in now, and they will get paid highly for that, any coach coming in now, because the value, the long-term value of the impact of coaching, if you're a good coach, can really, doesn't have a price tag, as I say. So all of this, I think, another thing for any coach entering the market, I would say, is if you don't learn digital marketing, especially for the business to client market, if you don't learn that, and if you don't understand it, and if you are not brave enough to get into it, you would quickly realize that your client base decreases. because organic growth today is it's not increasing as it used to. So people are more and more finding people through social media and through other means on the internet. So I think altogether, if you want to be a prosperous coach, so to speak, you need to have all the bits and pieces and know where you're going, know the value and the potential tangible value you can bring to your clients. I hope I addressed your question in there somewhere.
That means also that as a client, you also have to be on track on the technology side, that you are always on the top and, if possible, some steps ahead, even though thinking about what is coming next or what could come as next in the technology, the communication. Well, actually, you spread a lot of information here. You give a lot of value for the listeners, which is pretty important, and also for people that are stuck. I mean, how can people reach out to you? If they need a career coach, how can they find you?
Yes. So my website is allisha-ali.com. The name of my company is Unique You Careers. But you wouldn't find that because I'm using personal branding, Allisha Ali Coaching and Mentoring. So you can find me on LinkedIn, also on Facebook, and soon, I hope, once I get my hands around it, on Instagram. But those are the key places to find me now. I do also have an ebook entitled Accelerate Your Career to the Next Level. And guess what? It's about start with how you see yourself.
Oh.
And that's the core of my coaching, as I explained, if someone doesn't see themselves well. So I can also give this as a little gift to anyone who might want to download it from your site.
Okay, so for all the listeners and viewers here, there you'll see also below just the headline also from her website and how to connect with her. And also, if you want to reach out, you can reach out through me. If you don't find her, we will connect you with Allisha if you need anything in terms of career coaching. And it looks like it's a higher recommendation necessary for you, the listeners, to get in touch with Allisha. It doesn't matter where you are, because we are now connected all over the world with brand new technology, which will change anyway. But it is a huge advantage for you if you listen to this one, that you have now not only for the English speaking part, but also I think you speak German, right?
Ein bisschen. No ambition. I prefer to coach in English, though. I prefer to coach in English. Yeah.
Anyway, even people, if you who don't speak too much English, I feel like you are able to catch up the problems and to give good coaching for the German speaking area as well. And it gives even more value for those people, because with your background and with your knowledge, it is not only about the language you talk to, it's also about a lot of how you talk to people, how you validate people, how you appreciate people as impact. And now I want to end up this now with a very important question to you. What is your best advice for companies, whether they are successfully already in the market or whether they start up completely new? What is the first and foremost, most important advice you could give for those people?
I think, well, a company is an entity. So the people who own the company we're talking about here, right? I keep reminding myself, I'm not my company. That's an entity. So the people themselves, as I mentioned earlier, I believe, whether your business is prosperous or you are struggling at this point in time because of the current economic situation, I think it's important to have that reflection about where you are, whether you are accepting a difficult situation, whether you are showing gratitude to, things that are still going well for you. But do not become complacent and do not wait. I would say the waiting game is over. You need to get on, whether you speak to a business coach, whether you speak to a consultant, even a career coach, if it's you personally, where you want to go with your life. I think it's important to start talking about it. Start, my vision is about giving everyone the opportunity to explore their possibilities. And I think that's what every coach brings. And if you start exploring your possibilities, you would realize how many things you can do more than what you're doing today. And not only for the money, as we discussed, really to support people, to support your community. You are able to express your purpose and your passion in what you do and what your company delivers to people. So start talking about it. Reach out. There are many people out there. There's also a lot of pro bono coaches. But if you're in the luxury market, I expect you to be able to pay for your coaching. So reach out and start talking about it, because there's so much you can do to pivot out of this situation. If you're struggling and if you are thriving, there's so much even more you can do. So I would say start talking to a coach today.
So there you have it. Stop talking about and get it done means start talking to people, take action, get in touch with the coach that fits for you, try it out, get in touch with Allisha, because she's not only a very experienced woman in her business, but also she has a touch of how to address people correctly, also in the luxury market, so that you feel not only like comfortable as in the business part, but also personally wise. Because if it's not about person, it is about business. If it's not about business, it is about the person. But if you combine it, then you get the real power. That is Allisha Ali. Now, in this case, we have done a very great interview, an amazing content, and I appreciate one more time your time that you gave to me to have this interview with you. And for the listeners, I show you here one more time the connection to Allisha, that we make sure you get in touch with her and you don't miss out because you don't know where to find her. Thank you very much for listening to the Walter Schmidt Show. Take care and see you next time.